Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Gaming Daddy channel. Today we're going to talk about the Division 2 and what we saw at the state of the game. By now, many of you already know that the state of the game for the announcements for Title Update 12 showcased the optimization station. I've seen some questions, surprisingly, asking what an optimization station is. It's a system that actually was in the Division 1. It was actually put at the end of the lifespan of the game, where you could actually take your existing gear and make them max rolled gear items. And it's something that I'd actually been requesting and asking for in videos as early as Title Update 5. And I remember a lot of people telling me that if they bring an optimization station to the game, it's not going to make the game have its longevity as a looter shooter. And over time, it eventually made sense. They kind of inched their way to players getting max rolled fantasy fulfillment. And finally, they're getting to the point where they're going to bring the optimization station. Now, please note, this optimization station idea has always been an expensive idea. In fact, I think in the Division 2, it will be a much more expensive gesture for you to optimize an item. The way the developers showed it basically revealed that you're going to have to do a lot of farming, gathering the resources from different sources in order for you to get what you need to optimize your gear to get it to full max rolls and full, the fullest strength. So that being said, I've started to hear some whispers that this is the end of life of the Division 2. I disagree. I think there will be a year 3. This is my own opinion nonetheless, because before they would even dare announce a Division 3, they have to bring one more huge thing that the entirety of the community needs and wants. The optimization is a first step. It is the first step of the 3-step gesture that I've actually kind of talked about in the past, where they're going to give us all of these awesome stuff. They're going to add a year 3. Then they're going to announce a Division 3 when everyone is all happy and dancing and jubilating of how good the Division 2 is. There will be that time. You watch and see. Everyone that's yelling at this game right now is going to be at the point where they're like, yeah, this is kind of okay. This is kind of good. And then they soften, a lot of that community angst. And then they put the Division 3 announcement, and, maybe they'll do it casually. Maybe it'll be by a leak. Maybe it'll be by some really interesting way. And then we'll know that the Division 3 is in the works. And that curiosity is going to have people going, I wonder what it's going to look like. I wonder what's going to be in it. And then we're going to make 1,000 videos of 20 things we want in the division. You're going to see me. I'm going to make that video. 10 things we need in the Division 3. Hey, everyone. Welcome to today's video. I think they know exactly what they're doing when it comes to the marketing of this Division franchise. Many people seem to forget that a video game that's capable of bringing you $1 or 100 million of those dollars is a viable and worthwhile franchise to invest in right now in today's world and today's atmosphere. Look at Cyberpunk 2077. If you had told that development team that they would experience all these difficulties, I don't think they would have been able to envision how much it will be. If you had told them that they would have been hit with a huge world scale global event, or they would have been hit with, in the middle of their development, a new console release that they have to now map their game to be able to support, and then all of the other constraints that they have to go through, I don't think they would have seen those things coming. But the Division 2 was just fortunate enough to find itself in a sweet spot and had just a viable product. I've heard people say things like, oh, the Division was kind of a minimum viable product, and then they just went ahead and do this. A lot of those comments stem from a lack of understanding of what it takes to actually develop a video game. I've been doing a lot more research, and I have to tell you, anybody that tells me that creating content in a video game is easy, I will laugh at you. Just letting you know up front, okay? You go ahead and do in the comment section. I have your comments ready to go. I will laugh, okay? It is a very challenging, heart-wrenching, and in many cases, all of the scales are weighed against a development team or a developer to ship a game. So in order for them to successfully ship a third version, what we're going to see, in my opinion, is this title update 12 implementation for you to be able to optimize your gear. Remember, it's just basically following the customized, loot, the customized targeted loot that you can actually get right now from the summit, right? And then I think what's going to follow is this code nightmare, which I think is going to be the springboard for them to announce a year 3 content. And then that year 3 content will be designed to bring in PvP and PvE players back to the game. You see, if they try to bring only one segment of the community back, it may not be enough, because the PvP players are also PvE players at heart. I know many PvP players will say, well, I love PvP mode, but you shoot NPCs, right? Calm down. We know you also love farming, so relax, okay? But they want to bring everybody back. And I saw people in the comment section saying they're not going to address PvP. They're not going to address PvP. But I remember this one look that I saw on Yannick's face. It's that look where he wanted to crack and say that there was something in the cooker, in the oven right now for this community. And I will hedge my 50 cents that it is some sort of a survival mode or some sort of a PvP PvE mode that allows for the players to be able to engage in these two aspects of the gameplay sequences, and that's what they're going to bring to the game. If they do this, I think they're going to earn the goodwill, and I think they're going to earn the favorability to announce a Division 3 on the back of. And I think a lot of the criticisms will most likely wane away. I know many people may have lost their patience with the game or whatever it is, and I can definitely understand. If you feel like the game is not a game for you to play, if you feel like there are things that are in the game that, you can't necessarily deal with, it is understandable that you will take a break from the game. Even I, a big fan of the game, have not played the game frequently and in the order I usually play the game for a while now. For those of you who follow my channel, I have not streamed for a long time, but like I said, I'm working on a project. It's a project that I'll talk about later on. And so it's taken me away from a lot of my stream time and a lot of my play time. And so I'm looking at this going, this development team knows what they have and they understand what it is that they have, and they're still supporting their game. They're putting their patches in place. If there's a bug, they come into play and try to fix it if they can. There's no perfect game. I know that for sure. There are bugs in many, many games. In fact, some games that are pristine have systems that are still busted. Many people may not know, but I've played many games and I've seen broken systems from different developers and different publishers that are just not perfect. So I don't want to, place a standard on the Division 2 that I won't place on any other game. So whenever I talk about this game and talk about it in a favorable way, I will do the same thing for many other games as well that I feel like are worth it. Now, I think this is something that many players will have to kind of grapple with. There are some players who have also said, well, it doesn't seem like this is a system that should have been implemented now. It should have been implemented at the beginning of the game. Why do it now? Ladies and gentlemen, I've come to understand that this game, as a looter shooter, one of its biggest propositions is it keeps you on the grind. And if the grind, basically gets too much for you, you will most likely drop off. So you have to find something else as the player that is fun in the game, that is not just the grind. Focusing on the grind, I've noticed from experience from the Division 1, has never really given me the great satisfaction of playing the game. I think there are fun elements that I've latched onto, and many players have, that really do give them enjoyment. And then the gear and the grind just happens to be kind of something that's along the way, because like many have told me, the patience and the time that they've invested in getting the gear and getting the power, the player power that they have right now, has basically paid off a little bit. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to be keeping an ear to the ground. We're going to be seeing what this development team does. I'm really interested in what they're going to do now, because it seems like once every month they drop these announcements of things that, players had asked for a while and didn't even say, and they didn't even budge or talk about. In fact, they said, we don't have any plans for this coming to the game, yet we're seeing it. And just like one of the developers responded to me on a Twitch live stream that they have no plans for survival, I have almost a higher level of confidence that we're most likely going to see something along the lines of that very soon. Anyways, I can always say, I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Let's talk. Hopefully we'll see you in another video. Peace.